Welcome to the deep dive. In today's world, we're absolutely swimming in data, maybe even drowning sometimes.
Certainly feels that way.
Yeah, every click, every buy, every little interaction online just adds to this ocean of information. The real trick, and this is the fascinating part, is actually making sense of it all. How do you find those gems, the insights you can actually use? And that's exactly what we're going to plunge into today. The incredibly dynamic, fast-growing global data analytics tools market. We're talking about everything, right? From the software that helps visualize sales trends to really complex algorithms for recommendations, even the big platforms helping companies make smarter decisions. Our guide for this is the Global Data Analytics Tools Market Report 2025 from Cognitive Market Research. He gives us a look back to 2021 and projects all the way out to 2033.
Right. And our mission today really is to unpack this, extraordinary expansion. We want to highlight some maybe surprising growth patterns and understand what this huge boom means for data-driven decisions everywhere. The speed at which this is all changing is just key.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because the big global growth numbers are pretty eye-opening. We're talking about a market that basically doubled in just a few years. It climbed from roughly, $21 billion in 2021?
Yeah, around there.
To over $40 billion by 2025. But okay, hold on to your hats here.
Yeah.
Because the projection is the real kicker. It's expected to quadruple again.
Quadruple, wow.
Yeah, reaching an incredible $157 billion by 2033. That works out to a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of over 18%.
18.274%, yeah.
That's not just, steady growth. It's like a revolution happening right now.
What's fascinating here, I think, is that this kind of growth goes way beyond just the revenue figures. It's impressive, sure, but it signals a real fundamental shift across industries. This market is basically giving businesses, organizations, the power to use critical insights. It's moving them from, I guess, guesswork to really precise data-driven decisions. Think about it. Optimizing supply chains, predicting market changes, even improving healthcare. These tools are kind of the engine behind the scenes. It's changing how everyone operates, from the small shop down the street to massive global corporations. You probably interact with the results of these tools every day without even realizing it.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though, when we start looking at where this growth is happening. Geographically, North America, maybe not surprisingly, is still the leader. It's showing huge expansion. The market there jumped from nearly $9 billion in 2021 to over $17 billion by 2025.
Big jump.
And the projection, it's heading towards a massive $63 billion by 2033. And within North America, the U.S. is absolutely dominant. It takes the biggest slice of that pie, growing pretty much in line with the whole region. Figures like $7.2 billion in 2021, up to a forecast of nearly $51 billion by 2033.
Oh.
But it's also worth noting Canada and Mexico are showing really healthy growth too. Their KGRs are strong, around 18.6% for Canada and 18% for Mexico, so they're definitely pulling their weight.
And that North American dominance really speaks to, early adoption, doesn't it? And just the sheer amount of tech innovation that's been centered there for so long. It's a mature market, sure, but it keeps innovating, keeps integrating these tools really fast, sort of setting the pace.
Okay, so crossing the Atlantic, Europe's market is also really robust. It shows a big commitment to digital transformation over there. It grew from about $4.5 billion in 2021 to over $8.6 billion in 2025. And the projections look strong, too, heading towards almost $32 billion by 2033. Germany and the UK are really leading the pack in Europe, both seeing their markets multiply several times over this period. Germany's heading towards over $7 billion by 2033, and the UK towards $4.5 billion.
Strong numbers.
Definitely. And we also see really steady, strong growth from places like France, Italy, and Spain. They're all adding significantly to Europe's total picture. France going from around $650 million to over $4 billion. Italy from $370 million to $2.5 billion. Spain similar. Plus other notable players like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland.
Right, exactly. For Europe, I think this growth comes from a few places. You've got strong manufacturing, strong finance sectors. They're pouring money into analytics for efficiency, for competitiveness. And there's also this growing focus on things like smart cities, using data in public services. That's driving demand, too. It feels less like a totally new wave and more like deepening the use of these tools in already strong economies.
Okay, so we've seen the established leaders. But what does this mean for other parts of the world? Where are the really explosive shifts happening? Well, Asia-Pacific, APAC, is really emerging as a powerhouse here.
Absolutely.
Its growth path is steep. From just over $5 billion in 2021, is projected to skyrocket to over $42 billion by 2033. And here's the kicker. APAC has the highest regional CGR, over 19%.
19.3%, that's huge.
It really is. China is a massive part of that, of course,
Right.
projected to grow from about $1.5 billion in 2021 to almost $13 billion by 2033. But look at India. It actually shows the strongest individual country CAGR in the whole report, over 20%.
Incredible.
Yeah, India's market is going from like $630 million in 2021 to nearly $6 billion by 2033. That's almost tenfold growth. And you got other strong players all across APAC, Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Southeast Asia, Thailand, all showing really impressive double-digit growth.
If we connect this back to the bigger picture, the super fast growth in places like India and China, it's not just catch-up. It feels more like a massive leapfrogging effect. It's being fueled by huge digitalization efforts, massive populations coming online, often mobile first, right?
Right.
And governments are investing heavily in digital infrastructure. So you have whole new industries popping up, old ones being totally transformed, all because they can now optimize decisions using data at a massive scale. It's really dynamic, a huge shift reshaping global data use.
Okay, moving on quickly, South America, also showing healthy momentum. Its market is growing from about $1.2 billion in 2021 to projected near $10 billion by 2033.
Pretty solid growth there, too.
Yeah, with key players like Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, Peru, Chile driving it. And the Middle East market is definitely making its presence felt, growing from around $750 million in 2021 to over $5.8 billion by 2033. That's a strong CAGR, too, over 18.5%.
Interesting.
The report suggests this is largely because countries like Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE, Egypt, Qatar are really pushing adoption, often as part of these big national plans.
Vision 2030, things like that.
Exactly. Diversifying economies, building smart infrastructure. They're strategically using data for everything from city planning to managing energy.
Makes sense. They're leveraging data to optimize those big projects.
Finally, let's touch on Africa. That market is clearly on the rise. It's moving from just over $400 million in 2021 to over $3.2 billion projected by 2033. Still smaller overall, growing fast, a CAGR over 17%.
Still very strong growth.
Yeah, and the reason given is pretty straightforward. Countries like South Africa and Nigeria are leading the way, investing significantly in digital infrastructure.
Getting the foundations in place.
Exactly. Expanding internet access, more mobile phones, new tech hubs, all that groundwork fuels the adoption of these data tools. So if we wrap up this deep dive, the big takeaway is that the global data analytics tools market isn't just growing, it's absolutely exploding everywhere.
Yeah, across the board.
It's fundamentally transforming industries, making data-driven decisions less of a buzzword and more of, well, a global necessity. The numbers are huge, yes, but the story behind them is even bigger. It's about a world increasingly run on intelligence, pulled from data.
This raises an important question, I think, for you, our listener, to sort of mull over after this. Given how widespread and how fast this adoption is happening everywhere, what do you think are the most crucial skills? Or maybe areas of understanding people need to focus on to really thrive in this super data-driven world over the next decade or so?
That is a great question to chew on, something to really think about. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the global data analytics tools market. We really hope this helps you explore and connect the dots in whatever field you're in. Until next time.